Hello Internet, I'm HamsterBomb, and you guys are joining me for another figure review. This is actually my first time doing a full-on unboxing of one of these things, and honestly, I've never seen a Good Smile or Figma box that looked like this before. We can see a little bit outside of the boundaries. That's because this is quite large. I wasn't expecting this to come in as big as it was, but I guess they're trying to justify how the prices for Figmas have kind of tripled in the past, like, 5 to 8 years or so since I remember starting to buy these things. Actually, about 10 years. So that really stinks. So I guess we'll take a look at this and see if the new Metroid Dread Samus is actually worth its crazy asking price. Now, keep in mind that these products are only made to order. So if you you pre-ordered one of these through Good Smile, you have a real one for sure. However, if you are trying to pick one up online, you might be worried about, one, scalpers, people charging a heck of a lot more than its already exorbitant price is, as opposed to also looking out for some bootlegs, which I know the Good Smile company gets lots and lots of bootleg crap. So if you want to take an immediate look at the box and check if it is real, this outer shell box, I'll get to the inner one in a bit, you can see down here this actually is foil on here that says Samus Aran Dread version. They had to specify because there's actually 2 other Figmas of Samus in a power suit. One was the Various suit from Metroid Other M, which I have also reviewed, and the second was the Various suit from the Metroid Prime series. Didn't have the money for that one at the time, and of course now it costs an extremely high markup, so unfortunately I don't have that one. Otherwise I would have all of the Metroid Figmas. I absolutely would want them. But only other way to tell that this box would be legitimate is right here. Your warning label should be a sticker, this white square, so make sure that's an actual physical sticker you can feel, and it should be generally in your language, but of course if you're just trying to buy it from, you know, wherever you can, it may be a different language. But anyway, this is kind of a neat box here. I don't know if I'm satisfied with the price of Figmas going up by like $70 for the sake of having this silly outer shell that I'm never going to see. I'm going to display the actual figure, not the box, but that's me, but whatever. Hey, the box is cool, even on the inside of it, actually. Like I said, this is the first time I'm looking at it. You can even see it. They've printed a Good Smile logo in there, so yay. Anyway, the back of that thing, we saw some general poses and stuff that they've done with this, and I know the Good Smile company makes really high quality stuff, so I already know that this is going to be a really nice figure. I just wanted to make sure that I was able to secure one myself because I really love Metroid Dread. I think I've done 3 different playthroughs on my channel so far. One was my initial playthrough of the game, the second was a speed run on hard mode, and the third was a full run of Dread mode. That was a blast, and I've played the game many, many times offline. So it is easily one of my favorite Metroid games, and I already love this series, so that's saying a lot. Looking inside of here, there are some notable inclusions that they have with the accessories that I find a little strange, but we will get there in a bit. Still, I have preemptively opened this on the bottom so I can live actually get into this for you. And the first thing I'm seeing here coming out is the little instruction sheet, and it's even in English. I think this is the first time I've ever seen that happen. Normally it's always in Japanese, and sometimes these, oh my gosh, the whole thing is in English. This is actually, hey, maybe all that extra cash was going into localizing its instruction booklet. A real issue, oh no, it's just one sheet. JK, it's just one sheet, and the other side's in Japanese. But still, this is something we've never had, as far as I could tell, with any of the other Figmas that I've had, so this is appreciated, because there are some of them that had specific uses with attachments and stuff. Like, for example, we're going to see Samus has a really cool piece for the magnet, the spider magnet ability. And just for example, let's just say it attaches really weird and we wouldn't be able to read this. And I have been in that situation before, so I appreciate it. And it looks like they have some new shrink-resistant plug technology. I'll have to dig more into that later. Like I said, this is the first time I'm actually seeing it, so I'm just going to fold that puppy up and say, we looked at it. Nobody's actually here for the instruction booklet, though that is an interesting thing to note, that it is a little different. Let's pull the actual meat of this out of the box. And the inside of the box is just straight black, actually. Normally they print like an additional stand or something that you could take out. I never used it, so maybe that's why they stopped doing it. But that is just the box itself. Let's set that aside so we can now properly take a look at the contents of the box. And of course, just taped to the back, I will just remove these. First is the Figma stand and bag. It is always appreciated having more of these things around. Sometimes I'll get a Figma that ends up not having a lot of accessories, and these bags are wonderfully donated to the other stuff that I'd like to display that has tiny little accessories or parts that I would like to cycle out every once in a while. And the developers of the product just decided not to even include such a bag, so this is a wonderful thing to have. Very happy they're still giving these things out. These are great. So, this, in addition to just having the bag, we have a few pieces we can already see. This is actually a new Figma base. I don't have any of them that look like this, and I actually just reviewed Shin Megami Tensei 3's Demi-Fiend not too long ago. I still reviewed it this year. And his base does not look like this, so this looks like a really sturdy new design. Same pivot joint, it looks like, right here for holding the whole figure up. We have a couple different hand options in addition to one that's already attached to the figure, of course. This little additional piece, which I believe is just for extending that joint. I'm not entirely positive. I think I've used it before. And they tend to come with this too. You can see that little black joint right there. That's, I think, an extra wrist, or probably not the neck. The neck on the Samus is a little sturdier, but usually on the Figmas, I've seen the neck and the wrist have an alternative joint that they will give you in case something breaks. Hopefully it doesn't. I'm gonna cut this open. Would have been wise of me to get the scissors beforehand. Wow, this thing's big. All right, so there's the actual base itself. This, I have pretty big hands. And that thing is huge. And I really love that it's actually got alternate peg posts in here. So I might even be able, here, let me try and cover it up so you don't just see white on clear. Now that I'm looking at this thing, you could use this to position multiple Figmas really close together. And this, I don't know if you've ever tried such a thing, trying to have characters from the same series next to each other. Say I wanted to put, the two different suits for Samus next to each other, maybe this one next to the Zero Suit Samus. This looks like it would help a ton. This is really cool. I kind of wish they probably do sell those independently of figures themselves, but yeah, that's really nice, because they have some of the best bases. Actually, I will correct that. I will say the best bases for figures I've ever experienced come from Good Smile. The Nendoroids aren't quite as nice. Nendoroids kind of fall apart a lot, just the figures in general. But they're tiny and they have lots of little pieces. Their bases in particular are kind of annoying. All right, disposing of the trash there. Here is that little extension. I believe that is its entire purpose here. So if you plug that into here, I'm not going to push it in all the way because I don't think we will actually need it, but just in case, it really is just a way to get a better angle. Say if you were going to stick this down a bit, right? Or if you're trying to rotate it and reach upright to make the figure even higher, but still have the the base be sturdy. That's really all this guy is. We're not going to be using that right now, but it's a nice thing to have, and here's a nice little look at how tiny this little joint is. Oh, and it's nice and smooth. The Figma / Good Smile joints are very, very smooth, so I've never needed one of these, but I'm very grateful that they continue to provide these. And we'll take a look at, I guess, these hands that popped out. This is interesting. So I'm looking at a new type of joint, I guess we can call it, connector piece that would go into the arm itself. I'll have to take a look when we look at it. But this is unlike any that I've seen before. This almost looks like it can't move at all. It's very tiny, what that is. But anyway, there's like an open hand, which should be an obvious inclusion for any of these. And this is more of a, I'm not sure, like a half grip. Probably not made to grab onto anything, but pose with probably referencing what the amiibo pose looks like. But other than that, yeah, it's got the exact same base there on it, and I'm kind of surprised to see that, because I've never seen one of the Figmas that actually utilize that. Normally there is tape somewhere around here, so it's a game of trying to figure out where it is, though I'm not actually feeling it, so maybe I'll just give it a tug and see what gives. Look at that, no tape. That's weird. I think this is the first time I have seen one that did not have tape holding this part down. Whatever, you saw there, it was very snug though, so it's not like it was in danger of falling apart. From here, we can slowly start taking some of these pieces out. How about we grab probably the most curious of the pieces they have in here. Luckily, everything is separated with that soft plastic. This is the spider magnet attachment. So I don't know how strong this is. There's not really a way for me to test right now how strong it is just looking at it right here. Hopefully I'll be able to splice in like a little clip showing it with the full weight of Samus hanging on it. All right, so let's conduct a little science here. This is my fridge. Oh boy. Okay, so I did put it on kind of quickly, so if we set it a little gently, it can stay, but I mean, if you give it even the slightest little tap, how does it fare? And oh boy. So for the next test, let's take a look at my garage door, or rather the door to my garage. It actually has a metal plate in it, and it's stuck just fine. In fact, I can even open and shut the door, and Samus does not budge. Okay, so I guess my fridge sucks. Moving on, let's take a look at this metal clip that opens up my glass cabinet, and what do you know? Aside from the fact that it is leaning against it right now, it is holding very firmly, and I want to zoom in here and show you, this is only holding on by the tiny little piece of metal between it and the actual handle. And for our final silly test, we might as well see if I can make it stay on a doorknob, and what do you know? Yes, it can. So this actually is a good magnet, and my refrigerator is just kind of crappy. But for now, what we can see is a nice look at these joints. So you can see that there is permanently affixed a hand and a foot piece, you know, obviously not going to move whatsoever. And it looks like even the joints are not going to move at all. They're faux joints. It's actually just like a spoke. And that is just going to affix itself inside of the wrist and the ankle. Sorry, I'm looking at it like, it looks like there's a little line there, but it's probably just a seam they used when creating it in general. The plastic is slightly reflective. It's actually kind of got that effect that the spider magnet walls have in the game. It's not just it's slightly translucent is what I guess I'm trying to say here. So that looks nice. I'm eager to try that one out. Next, we have the open gun cannon arm. I am a little disappointed. Oh, I mean, I knew this was going to be a separate arm piece, and that's cool enough. But I'm a little bit disappointed that it doesn't actually move. You know, looking at it when they shot the pictures showcasing this, it sure looked like there were little joints in here. Granted, that's more chances for it to break, and of course it's safer for it to look like this, but hey, at least we have the option. My biggest disappointment with the other two Samus that they created, they never gave us any option to have like a missile coming out of these things. And shockingly, as we can get ahead to it now, there's not even a beam shot that comes with this one. And there were beams, two different clear plastic beams that came out of the original Samus and the Prime Samus. So I don't know what's up with that. They gave us this. Like, this thing looks cool. I love the look of this guy. Once again, it attaches with that same interesting type of joint. We will learn more about it in a bit. The detail's really nice. I guess maybe it is best that it doesn't move. Like I said, less chances for it to break. It'll hold itself open. Won't swing back shut, say if you were aiming it down for whatever reason. So, it's cool, but honestly, just looking at it makes me go, why didn't you give me at least the beam shots or a missile or something, you know, like, or really, a big thing with Metroid Dread is its mobile countering, because it is taking the same counter ability that Samus Returns did, both from Mercury Steam, and I was kind of hoping for like a clear plastic part that would affix itself inside of the actual gun arm to have like a upper swing counter attack pose, but nope, didn't get anything like that. Now, this is the most peculiar thing that they decide to add in these. Every single time they give us a morph ball, as if you're actually going to take your Samus, the actual Samus itself, down into your basement or wherever and affix this guy into here, and it looks like it's not even going to fit and you have to use the extender. So, whatever. I don't really want to force it right now. Sometimes you want to apply a little bit of heat to these, by the way. You never try and force any joints together if they're not quite feeling right. So I want to use some heat to make sure that that attaches properly, but still, you're not just going to put that on your stand and go, well, there's my Samus, haha, see, she's in a morph ball right now. I don't know. The morph ball in Metroid Dread looks really cool, though, so I'm happy to see it, but, like, what am I going to do with this? You know? It's a silly little extraneous thing that, like, you're not going to show it alongside Samus, because obviously she's not in the morph ball. Anyway, here we go. The actual figure itself, and this looks and moves very nice. Just from holding it in my hand, it's got a nice weight to it. Ooh, the shoulders, the way everything works. Ooh, I love the paint. Man, it's probably not coming off properly in the footage. These things never really do. But ooh, the paint job on this looks outstanding. That was the last of it in here, so we are technically looking at the final piece. Obviously, it is Samus herself. And, you know, even just looking at the original... Oh, yes! That is loads better! Loads better than the original one. So you might even want to go back and check my Metroid Other M Samus. It's actually one of the first videos on my channel, so it's very old. But you can take a look at that one, and one of the first things I complain about is how awful the joint is in the neck. And it's really not even a joint in the neck. It is just a spoke with a ball joint. And this, there's like an actual like sculpted neck if you're seeing this, and she can move her head up and down. She can go side to side. The original Samus, and I'm pretty sure the, like I said, I can't confirm this, I'm pretty sure that the Prime one also has the same problem, where this is the most motion you're gonna get out of it, and I'm not exaggerating. That's all you get. This, I can... Oh my gosh, look at this. That, like, considering what the sculpt is that they have to work with of how restricting this suit should be, you can even cock it side to side. This is so good. Wow, that's so good. For how agile Samus is in Metroid Dread, you really want to make sure that the expressiveness of the neck can actually function this time. That is such a good joint. That's really, really nice. The rest of this, though, what I was trying to say before I got very sidetracked with the neck, is Samus's entire suit this time is kind of designed to be more freeing, so that she can be more dynamic and actiony within the game Metroid Dread. So it's really nice to see this translate fluidly into a well-made figure like this. The shoulders are actual regular shoulder joints, but as I can kind of move it around on here, and you might even be able to see on the inside, there is a tiny little spoke inside of here. It is white. There it is. Okay, you see that? And it's on a tiny little ball joint, which moves this entire shoulder pad, I'm going to call it. That actually can move independently of Samus's arm, which is a regular joint underneath it. That's how they're getting so much fluid movement out of this, and that's why it's so nice. You look at my original Samus that I did on the Other M Samus, it is nowhere near this fluid. This is wonderful how much movement you can actually get out of these arms. Of course, this is a regular Figma joint right here, so you're going to get regular elbow movement out of it. That's a great one too. I am pretty curious about how the hands work. I don't know about you, so I want to actually pop this off, and we'll try and replace it with another hand right now. Huh. Oh, you know, I think I figured it out. So, now that I see what's going on, there is nothing in here, and it really is just on a regular joint. I was half expecting the joint itself to pop out for some reason, which means that what's in here is actually just like a little plastic holder piece. Yep, see, there it goes, comes right out. Stupid me, not even familiar with the safety measures they have to protect their figures, make sure nothing actually breaks in transit. So there you have it. That is a really nice new system. I guess extra extraneous plastic that does nothing but protect your figure upon shipping and all of that. Great choice, great movement. Really happy with that. So far, so good. I was saying, like, at the beginning of this, like, we're looking at an enormous upcharge for Figma's and Good Smile stuff. The quality needs to go up alongside with it, and so far it absolutely is. There is another point here that I don't think moved on the other Samus right here. You can see there's 2 different points where the arms actually meet, and that can twist. So it's another pivot point with a ton of extra versatility. And luckily, based on where the seam is of the organic part of her suit wrapping around her arm, it doesn't look weird if I rotate that in any unusual way, because it's typically going to be covered up. So that looks good. It looks really good. I'm happy the way that looks. We just have another regular joint here for the arm cannon, which of course is also going to pop off just like the arm did, just on a bigger joint, and we'll be able to switch to this one, which, to be completely honest, I am only just now realizing that that thing is red. You could have held a gun to my head and it would have been green when I played that. And like I said, I played this game like a dozen times, so I'm surprised I never picked up on the fact that it changes color when you get the Omega Cannon. Oh well, anyway, we also have a couple different joints in the hips. I can feel that it is a ball joint in there. I think even in the instructions, they showed us a good visual of it. So let's actually test something while I try and get the instructions up. How well can you stand by yourself? Those are some good feet. Don't even take that out of context, you weirdos. You know what I was trying to say. Like, typically you try to hold a figure up by itself, it's coming down immediately. There's a good visual of what that feels like in there. So it's like a 3-way ball joint. There's one where the hips are pivoting on it, and that is concealed by that middle region here, kind of like the neck, where that is just used as give space for the top ball joint to move around up on here, and then the hips to also move independently of their own ball joint, which have about as much movement as before. I mean, you really can't do too much more, though. You can push this inside. You could not do that with the other Samus, but that's about as far movement as you're going to get. I don't think you're going to try and go farther than that, but who knows, because like I said, this Samus does a heck of a lot more sliding stuff. I'm not sure if any of that's going to be problematic. Ooh, they had to make a new joint cover specifically for the knee here. Oh, it's double jointed, I see. So there's actually one joint here and one joint here, and as you move, you can expose the joints inside, and the back of it, you're only seeing the top one. The second one is underneath here. There, so I can like move, that's just the bottom, that's just the top. Nice, nice. That was absolutely not a thing in the other one before. Now, one of the cooler details of Dread, this does independently move, if you've noticed it in the game, where if Samus, say, crouches down, okay, right? So, say she's crouching down like this, or trying to stand outright. In the older games, say Metroid Prime, the 3D ones, she would be clipping through her foot. And instead, in Dread, they made this extra flap on purpose, so that when she steps down like that, and the toe does independently move as well, goes up really far. I'm trying to show the full movement of it. Jeez, it keeps going. It goes as far as you would need it to go. Yeah, it's got a ton of movement. Of course, the foot itself at the ankle has its own wide-ranging movement. This honestly is one of the most how do I say this, like, fluid. It's like the joints are very sturdy, but they're very easy to move, and they will hold that position very well. There's so many points of articulation in this. It's flowing really, really nicely. This one feels really good. So I'm really happy with this one. Like I was saying, if anything that I have a complaint for, it's for the fact, like, if I'm paying that much for the price, like, I kind of wish there was a little more in terms of, like, accessories that would make more sense. The spider magnet is really clever. I really love this. Morph ball, once again, like, okay, not even really useful as a paperweight, but okay, there it is. And then this cannon is really cool, another step in the right direction, but it just kind of accentuates the the feature that is missing here, which is anything coming out of the gun arm, which, you know, the whole Metroid part is the the running and the gunning, and no gunning this time. But still, Dread is more of like a stealth focused, so maybe that is something that they wanted to shy away from. Who knows? It was probably just the fact that the spider magnet alone, this probably made the whole figure cost a heck of a lot more, and they had to cut some concepts. And, you know, having a lineup of matching morph balls, if you were not going to include it, admittedly, that would be a little weird because the other ones had it, but still, I think this is really, really nice. Definitely worth the wait. It was announced such a long time ago, and I'm so glad it is finally here. Probably the most stunning part of this is the luminescent paint job they did on the blue. It looks really good, where the white is all matte, and the red and the blue are glossy, but the blue very much so. There's actually two different kinds of gloss, it looks like, where there's this lighter sheen, and then inside where the little tendrils go, it seems to be a little bit darker. It could be the same paint job and it's an optical illusion. It maybe because of the shadows in there, I don't know, but it looks very, very good. I'm happy with this. I can also let you know that I managed to get a pre-order in for the Emmy figure as well, which, as far as I can see, is already sold out everywhere. So luckily, I will also be able to showcase Emmy on the channel as well. And that is going to be an interesting one, because I've seen how big it is in scale, and I'm going to have an even bigger problem trying to showcase the backdrop for that one. So we might even need another solution, but still, I'm very happy with this. Let me know what you guys think, if you're going to be picking this up yourself or have already. This just arrived for me last night. I was very eager to get to it, and I'm very, very satisfied with the way that it has come out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like the videos and subscribe for more. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.